In this video here, to begin, that the Father be glorified, the more so in word and in deed, that his name be lifted up, his word come back into complete, and that may more people turn to him and give him the praise, the glory, thanks and appreciation, and that perhaps, maybe, more be converted unto him and turn from the ways of the world, especially the snares of the devil, and as well as forsake their own judgments that they assume is right for themselves, but it's not working out for them, and especially to get free from those whom the devil has sent to lead them straight to the lake of fire or be counted wicked at the judgment. That way, the eyes can be open up the more so, the ears open up as well too, and the hearts become pliable, so that they too may know the Father, and the Father draw near to them as well too. Proceeding forth here, second part, is fair use, fair dealing, public dominion, all rights mentioned and not mentioned, as well as declared and not declared, including every backdoor, inroad, loophole, and such, accordingly, to take away any advantage of gainsaying, and so forth. Now to continue from the previous part 6, it was expected to end so soon, yet there is so much more that had to be covered and addressed. Now, with the point that was mentioned towards the end, here's the thing. You have individuals who are trying to help force against the will of many others their decisions, their desires, instead of respecting and helping people in their free will of what they choose that is best for them, especially those who in their culture, heritage, as well as how they proceed forth in the faith from whatever religion they have started in. That way they may know the good news and consider, if they have not yet, be water baptized, repenting of their sins, the sins of the forefathers, be water baptized, as well as to pray, ask, seek, and press to receive the baptism of the Ruach HaKodesh, the authentic Holy Spirit, so that their names are written down in the Lamb's Book of Life, and they can know for sure that they are His. And that they also may meet other brethren and sisterin, other brothers and sisters in the faith accordingly, that each one may grow in the faith the more so, be perfected, support each other, and that with each other's support and prayers, even being there to help each other get through accordingly, whether it's physically or spiritually, they press through it. That way, as the day approaches at its own pace, that they also may join the rest of the body in the kingdom. And this has to be emphasized because of the deception these days that's getting more sophisticated and complex. Here's the thing. Some will start in Christendom, shall we say. Others will start in the, shall we say, the Hebrew Israelites groups. So over time, wherever one matures in the faith and gradually takes it patiently and is led, they will find more information, experience things, grow, be tried and tested and proven, especially things to repent of too. So over the longevity of their faith, they grow, they repent, they go through situations that they be perfected and prepared for the kingdom. And one way or another, as things are revealed in the world, the more so, even the knowledge of the word and the truth of it, more people have to come out from their denominations and receive the fullness of the truth that is within the word, even from Genesis to Revelation, and all these many books that have been revealed, the apocryphal books, especially these apocryphal books and other books that have had penmanship put to it, and such agents, shall we say, individuals who have been sent from dark institutions, dark places, dark gatherings, institutions and such, to lie, deceive, distort, in every form of lie, falsehood, and manipulation and such, to turn anyone and everyone possible just as much away from the truth as possible, to cause them to fail in their faith or cause them to leave and depart from the faith. Those wolves in sheep's clothing. So whether you was for example, a Christian or a Hebrew Israelite or a Muslim or in whatever denomination it may be, even an ex-Catholic and such, there's a chance for you to seek the Father, to press forward, to be pliable and willing to receive, instead of being entirely shut off to learning from His Word. Because each person in the faith can grow to tremendous potential if they be willing, obedient, and be led by the Father who is in heaven. So these individuals here that want to trouble just about anyone they can possible, let's make it very transparent here. Some individuals out there, they know what's up. They prefer woolly hair. There's just something about that woolly hair, you know? And there's just something too about that melanated skin, you know? Let's keep it real here, okay? And if you're asking me, out of personal experience, well, it's not 100%, how you want to put it on the surface level, shall we say. There's just something about that, that melanated skin and that woolly hair. And all these years, just, before the faith, just growing up, how should we say? Yeah, just growing up in life. And then learning about what's in the book. And the book finally being open to the understanding and revealed to finally read it and actually have an interest and desire to read the book and just taking it in the book, just open up the book and reading it and just going through the book as much as possible when the time was available. And of course, that time available when beginning to read it anew or fresh is when I was reading on Saturdays. Most definitely. There is plenty of time made on the Saturdays to read. Every other time of the week, it was changes could have been made sooner. Things could have been done differently. It's a growing process. Yeah. Over time, just realized there's just something about that, about the culture, the about the melanated skin and the woolly hair. The woman doesn't have to be 100%, dark, like jet black, dark. There's just women out there, they have different shades, and you're just learning over time, and you realize, and you get a clue, and it's like, okay, and eventually, things happen over time, and then finally, it's like, how do you miss this? What? Huh, okay. It all of a sudden makes sense now, out of a moment of a notice, and even gradually, accordingly too, start to realize, hey, wait a minute, I've been missing out on this all this time? Huh. And it was made that complicated when it's this clear, straightforward, and simple. It's going to be done like this and like that and so forth. This detail and that detail. And this plugs in here, that plugs in over there. This is how it works and so forth. This is how things work and how they flow along. All of a sudden, life makes a little bit more sense now. A little here, a little there, and even in chunks at times. Been missing all of this all these years. In all these years, all this whitewashing put on me. Let's keep it plain and simple, okay? There's cool, honorable, respectful, and those who love the Father who's in heaven, that are going to be from other nations, all sorts of nationalities. There's people who you can get along with, no problem. There's people where they, at some position, wherever it may be, are in the faith. And generally, when you're going out there and you're through your day, or whenever you're just going out and about and so forth, whenever you interact with people, wherever it may be, there's going to be people of different nationalities that, isn't that bad? Yeah, so this whole, there's going to be people out there who are just, it is what it is. You got racists out there. You got prejudice out there. You got people who are, they're looking for one thing or two to measure against you. And if you don't meet that on the surface level or in a level of character development in a spiritual aspect, they will use that as a means to try to, quote unquote, disqualify you. So, yeah, let me get this right. All this whole time, I've been repeatedly taught to live a different culture, a different lifestyle, a different interest, when clearly those things weren't clicking for me. And again, I have to make it known, there's people of different nationalities you can simply talk to and get along with. No problem. Hey, they might even be considered to being converted to come into the faith. Why not? You see someone who's going to want to be an example, who wants to learn more about, the book, from Genesis to Revelation, the scriptures. He wants to be conformed more so to the Father's Son. That way they know what this faith is about. So whatever denomination you started in, eventually you go to where you need to be going eventually. And yeah, even though the Israelites sinned greatly through very many different generations, and there was righteous ones here and there, as well as righteous ones among the different nations, such as Ruth, Naaman, Job, and so forth. Let's see, what else? Titus. Titus was mentioned to an extent, as well as Vespasian's son is mentioned in a separate book. That still has to be confirmed if, Vespasian's son, the emperor of Rome around 70 AD. Yeah. Him and his son, who were co-emperors, co-rulers of Rome, when they went to go invade Jerusalem to go deal with the rebellion over there, or the resistance. And eventually the wicked among Israel were so evil and into criminal activity, just being used by evil, that the Roman soldiers, enough was enough. They couldn't take anymore. They got in that temple and they pillaged that place for its gold and whatever they can take out of it. And then proceeding forth, the people, eventually they try to get back up, and you hear about Tartaria, you hear about the Tartarian Empire, you hear about the so-called Holy Roman Empire and so forth, and you realize over time, yeah, what's that, 1492 came about, and these agents know about that. Oh yeah, they definitely know who the real Native Americans are and so forth. So you mean to tell me that, these fraudsters, these hoaxsters, this whole time has been trying to force a different lifestyle, a different way of living life and so forth onto people, trying to make us buy wolf tickets and so forth. Oh yeah, that's right, huh? If you're CIA or you're part of COINTELPRO or something, got you red-handed with your hand in the cookie jar, huh? That's right, huh? You didn't know what the wolf tickets are, huh? And you're so smart, you're so slick, and you're so spiritual. I'm just gonna say, hey, you can be any shade of color, okay? Any shade of melanation. You can even be albino, okay? And you can see some good examples of what an Afro-American is, what an Israelite is, here in America, in any four corners of the earth. You can see a righteous example as someone who wants to just seek out the righteousness and the goodness of the faith and what the Father's given and provided. Let me tell you, the whitewashing needs to stop. The bleaching of the melanin skin has to stop, okay? The bleaching of the hair has to stop, okay? The bland, that's right, the bland culture that's presented to the masses, it needs to stop, okay? They tell you to eat low sodium and they eat low fats. You know what? Put some salt on that, okay? Someone needs to be walking in the Spirit, be walking in the Ruach HaKodesh, and be the salt of the earth, to be the lights, to shine the Father's light, to be that candlestick that's set on a mountain, on a hill, so that no one else can miss it, so they can see the light, see those good works brought forth, and glorify the Father who's in heaven. And when it's said and done, go sit down and let the Father be glorified, because without Him, whoever was being used could do nothing without Him. That's what Jesus taught His disciples, right? After doing what you got to do, go sit down and just humble yourself. Some will obviously say that they are a worthless servant. That way the Father gets the praises and no one gets all hyphy and start to man worship. That way people can get out of the way so the Father can be lifted up. So that the Father be glorified and know that He sent His Son so that as many as receive and believe can turn to the Father. Let's keep it real here, okay? There's plenty of, shall we say, plenty of Americanized, plenty of Europeanized, plenty of, this and that and so forth people that, they're bored, they're tired of, shall we say, white culture, of white America. They see all these, so-called Afro-Americans and everyone else just, taking life on a different, whole new level. Taking life on a different level. And history's coming out and so forth. People are finding out that, this and that and so forth. And it's like, it makes people wonder, okay, so all these years people have been trying to, get into, what you call it? People have been, getting, what's it called, a little bored and uninterested and trying to occupy themselves, especially around 2019, right? Right? Around that time period. And so forth. As well as other times in the past and present, or drawing near to the present. People are, tired of the norm. It's got to be more to this in life than what's presented. Especially on the TV, right? So this whole time, people been, people been, given a bland, dull, boring culture, lifestyle, and so forth. That, especially with the oppression and so forth in the world. And people try to plenty of people have tried to assimilate and still are trying to assimilate. And at this time right now, as it is in history, present history, I mean, hey, what is there left in quote unquote um you know uh modern day America, Americanism, and so forth, when it's passed away, and it's drying up, it's eroding. Oh yeah, what did Apostle Paul say? The road has passed away, and the lust thereof. And also, there's a difference between the wisdom that comes from above, which is peaceful, gentle, and good. And that's going off the bat, out the top of it, just to mention. But the wisdom from below, the wrong kind of wisdom, is carnal, sensual, devilish. That's right, you can have the wrong kind of wisdom presented to you from people who are trying to teach you doctrines of demons. Get your pencil and get your paper. Otherwise, get your notepad, and yeah, that was... Some of these cult leaders are complete clowns, okay? Including this cult leader right here, Donald Duck. Yeah, I'm just putting Duck at the end because he's a quack, okay? People like to hate on the real, but as soon as they are phony and they want people to think that they're real, oh, they're gonna try to act real for what, X amount of time, until they get proven and tried, and you realize, wait a minute, the mask fell off. Wait, whoa, who's that right there? That's a wolf in sheep's clothing. Oh no. You mean to tell me these burgers, these criminals, these evil beasts and slow bellies have been trying to whitewash and do some criminal stuff that's so criminal it's satanic? Man, only a matter of time, huh? The wheat and the tares are being separated. The citizens and the criminals are being separated. How you like them apples, huh? Yeah, juice that burger real good. Put it in your juice. Yeah, that's right. Put it in your lunch bucket box and suck it. Put that in your juice box and suck in that, huh? Yeah, quench your thirst real quick, huh, sucker? These criminals are something else, okay? When they start crashing out and they start getting on demon time and doing some extra criminal level stuff, that's gonna put extra charges on that. There's times you gotta shake your head, and sometimes you gotta realize how hilarious it is. So these wannabes say that they are Israel and are not. And as mentioned, there's plenty of melanated folks of different shades, and plenty of people who just, they're born again. They see the culture of the, the, shall we say, Afro-American. Otherwise, people like to say Black American these days. It's easier to go back to the, to the term Afro-American before you use the more obvious ones, because it's coming back to the original intent, where you're going to see so-called Israelite Americans and Israelite Europeans and so forth. Israel just rests up to the first the homeborn, that's right, the homeborn, and then the strangers. The homeborn grafted back into the tree, and the nations also being grafted in. Hey, what's percentage still gonna come to pass, okay? So you can be pale skin, okay? Your physical body can be from another nation, okay? But you draw near, you want to learn about this, okay? You can be as one born in the land, okay? Especially that's right, when you're born again, you can be from another nation. You could be a brother or a sister from another mother. That's right, from another mother. You can be albino. You could be jet black all the way from Africa. And yeah, you want to be part of the kingdom? You want to grow and learn, fellowship and so forth? You can also too be a brother and a sister. And when that day comes forth, in this firmament, it's taken out of the way, and the Son of the Father is revealed. Finally, rest. Finally, the reward given unto every man. Because these criminals right here, these 6 right here, that are being exposed still. Oh yeah, I might make time to get to the other one over there. And perhaps that other on the, yeah, that little sneaky one right there. Because these criminals are desperate. They're going to do some stuff, and they're doing it right behind the scenes and trying to dress up in front of your face. And whatever it's not brought to the light yet, it's gonna happen one way or another. Either brought to the light, or what's done in secret. They have to, you know how people are. They look down on the ground. They shuffle their foot. They kind of like talk like this, and and try to dress it all up, trying to deceive you, make you think it's this when it's really that, trying to tell you it's a horse when it's a giraffe. Trying to tell you that water's not wet. This is how bad the brainwashing is. The mind control and the rest of it. And especially if you have CIA operatives who are on criminal time / demon time, they're going to do all sorts of criminal activities. And yeah, by the way, FBI and so forth, I again affirm and mentioned, again, I heard about the beef. I heard about what was it, Venezuela? That person over there in South America. Yeah, I heard about the situation. The CIA needs to keep their business where it does not belong. It doesn't. You need to be over there. That's right, you are supposed to be doing business. The CIA is getting in the way. They're doing what's not supposed to be done. They're frustrating the whole work as is. That's how they do with the whole conversation and so forth. The whole plotting and scheming. So yeah, this Donald over here, this Donald Duck. Yeah, get a little warm. That's right, get a little warm-up practice on them, huh? You remember what happened with Donald Trump, right? Right? They just went into his home on his property, and they just found any kind of reason just to get into his house and go through his stuff. Yeah, let's see you go to town here on Donald's, as well as Rollo and Dasan. DASAN. Yeah. as well as Lester, Mark the Messenger, Charles L. Jr., and the rest of those other criminals that are playing cult leader, head honcho, so-called wannabe alpha man, and all these other clowns that just need to be packed up, you know? Just come in on that door. Lift your hands up, asshole! Lift your hands up! Show me your hands! Let's see these internet tough guys react to that, huh? You criminals are so big and you're so bad and hardcore. Till the feds show up, huh? Oh, now you're gonna eat some crow now, huh? I'm telling you, okay, these individuals right here are scumbags. The lowest of the low. They're narcissists, and how narcissists talk, they said it for themselves. These animals, these ninjas, they just need to be locked up, put in a cage. Isn't that right, huh? Donald, Ringo, you're such an animal. You need to be locked up in a cage. Now let's proceed forward. Because these guys, they did worse than so-called deny their heritage. They're opportunists, okay? That's right. We're going to tell that truth and shame that devil. We're going to tell the truth and shame the kingdom of darkness. Glory to the King. Hallelujah. Hallelujah. Where's that amen corner at, huh? Yeah, so these opportunists, they, just, yeah. They came all flossed up. That's right, they came in flossing. Got their, spearmint, mouthwash, Listerine. And, got their hair all greased back up. Got the, expensive, fancy looking clothing. Or try to dress, base and try to look discreet, but they, they stick out like a sore thumb still. Yeah, That's how they are. They slid right in. Sleek. Full of their egos. Thinking they were going to pull off, shake it, and make it. And they were going to so-called prophesy, right? Right? Oh, he also said, shake up, wake up, break up, and so forth. Yeah. You can tell they're from the, yeah, that's right, they're from the, either the industry or straightforward from the system from somewhere else. Yeah, that's right, huh? You know so much just like Cat Williams, huh? That's how they are. Now let's get back to context here, okay? As mentioned on my behalf, there's people you can get along with, and there's just people where they can't really receive you. Especially especially if they don't 100% see you as themselves. And as mentioned in the previous video there too, the CIA, they mess around with, that's right, the CIA, as well as other Satanist groups and organizations, they mess around with some serious dark arts, all types of witchcraft. Oh yeah, what else out? That's right there. The CIA and Satanists, they do what is called remote viewing. It's some of the most sick, disgusting, and diabolical stuff there is. Say, for example, you're just going through life. Say, you get interested, you get into the faith, and you're just learning, right? And things are happening, okay? That the Father be glorified. This will be done. This word come back into incomplete. And what happens? These very strange, funny, and just odd individuals who want to come in and just present themselves like, and they act as if they're for you, but the whole time they were really against you. And then they start talking in such a way, makes you think, how did I know that? Okay, what they're saying that is kind of making sense. You start to realize, hey, wait a minute. How do they know that? Whoa. How do they know that about me? And you start to get weird thoughts and weird feelings and things that could just show up out of nowhere, as well as people acting very strange and funny, being extra mean, extra nasty, extra cruel, crashing out, just manifesting on, you start to find out how evil spirits operate through people and how they talk through people and make them behave and think and say and do things and so forth. And you realize, hey, wait a minute. That's not a normal person. Hey, wait a minute. That's not an everyday person. Whoa, hold on. Why is that person right there getting out of pocket? Why are they coming unhinged? And all of a sudden, you stop listening to those individuals. That's right. You stop listening to those sneaky, deceiving, conniving individuals. All of a sudden, it's like you put away from them, and they realize, hey, wait a minute. Whoa, what's going on here? Wait, what's going on? Wait, oh, man, no. And all of a sudden, it's like, it's like pulling back the curtain, and you realize that's not a powerful entity. That's a scrawny little scumbag right there behind that curtain. A criminal. Over there, flexing. The whole time they've been fronting. You realize, hey, wait a minute. They didn't really have all that power. They weren't really for you. They were just deceptive the whole time, using all sorts of methods to deceive you. And then you learn about this stuff the more so, like what Satanists and the CIA do. You realize, okay, that's how they do it, okay? That is some criminal stuff, and that is evil stuff there too. They sit there and they do this kind of stuff to try to get into your, shall we say, try to get into your mind, try to see what you see, try to hear and listen and figure out what's going through your emotions, your mind, and what you're receiving through your being, through your head and so forth. Trying to read your thoughts, try to, destiny swap you, energy harvest you and so forth. And if they just can't wrestle whatever's in you from you, they'll try harder and harder and harder. And they'll just keep trying it harder and harder and harder to the point where it's right there in the Proverbs. The leech said, the mother and her the leech and her daughters have three things to say or two things to say. Give. And you have these criminals doing dark arts on you and other people, whoever it may be, trying to drain you and be a parasite, and doing some ultra weird and bizarre things, trying to mess with your head and make you think they're really for you, but they're doing some, no, just, walking away from that mess. No, thank you. And then the dominoes, the house of cards starts to fall. That's right. The game's over. Jig's up. You walk away. You take in a prayer. You gradually resist that stuff. If you have to, take in a prayer continuously and get after it. Take it over time gradually, so you don't try to wear yourself up and wreck your time. Then eventually, that person who was trying to leech off you, trying to get you into, try to bring evil into your life, try to get you to do, even try to persuade you to do. That's right, try to persuade you to do criminal stuff. Even be accomplice to their dirt and so forth, one way or another. They couldn't lock you down. So what they do? They start losing it. They start falling apart. They start bugging out. They start becoming mentally insane, mentally unstable. And all of a sudden, now they don't know if they're coming or going. And especially these criminals, these 6 criminals that like doing stuff towards women. Yeah, let's talk about it real quick. They want to say that they want to present themselves as if they're for women, one way or another, and generally speaking. But the whole time, they've been plotting against the women, trying to do criminal stuff to them, and trying to do criminal stuff towards men. Especially men who just want to be real, want to be legit, in the sight of the Father, who's in heaven. Because here's the thing, okay? Obviously, white America does not like certain people. Let's keep it for real, okay? You can be the most civil, the most polite, the most honorable, respectful, moral, and whatever you can do to work on yourself. And that's being transparent and being down to earth here, to where you're just, making an effort to just improve and just work on yourself and be humble and realize, you have the areas you have to grow in and work on and get perfected and so forth. And even still, no matter how much of a progress you make, white America only just cherry picks who they're going to cherry pick and receive unto themselves. So no matter if you are one way or another, how they perceive you, each individual, let's keep it for real, okay? As mentioned at the beginning here. You can be good. A man could be, a man could treat a Caucasian woman properly, and she still is going to, cherry pick that man. And all of a sudden you get these, I'm just going to say how it is, okay? Some melanated women, they know what's up. Just keep it for real, okay? Let's keep it straight down the middle. Not trying to, whitewash it, nor present it in a corrupt way. Avoid corrupt communication, shall we say? Try to keep it as pure as possible, close to the pureness of it. There are melanated women, they know what's up. They see certain men, they know what's up. And they realize they want to be with that man. And you got these... Again, this is no dig at any nationality. It is what it is. Some people right off the bat, because they mind the things of the flesh, they walk out to the flesh. They walk out to the surface level of things instead of seeing what's really the context of things, what's underneath the veneer, what's behind the frame, and so forth. So they're too busy trying to master you and trying to make you be this example that they want you to be, that practically is a figment of their imagination, some, programming that's been done into their mind, right? You know how it is, right? There's just some women out there that need to come out of the programming, out of the so-called matrix, shall we say. Out of that, they need to come out of the satanic programming and learn what a real man is, especially according to the scriptures. That's right. Because some of these, that's right, Ringo here, Donald, Rollo, and Brainwaves are selling you wolf tickets. There's also other three are selling their own wolf tickets to different set of seats, trying to sell you some land of make-believe, something that has no substance to it. They're trying to get the men to, yeah, that's right, we're going to talk about that right there real quick. They're trying to present to people that men need to ignore women 100%, chase out their money, and so-called clean the outside of the cup, but not really talk about the inside of the cup, huh? That's right, you scribes and Pharisees, you hypocrites, you whitewashed sepulchres full of corruption and immorality and criminal activity. Aha! Trying to hide it all behind your prosperous, rich, wealthy, financially successful, after the road standard lifestyle. And the whole time, you've been criminals. You've been doing some very dirty stuff to get your money, to get your status, your position, your power, all these favors, and such. And you want to come out here and deceive? That's right. You want to come out here with your big bucks, your big mouth, and your big attitude, your big ego? To what? Oh, you are Ahabs, aren't you, huh? Aha! Caught you sneaking in broad daylight, huh? Got you right with you. Got you with your hand in the cookie jar. Oh yeah, it's right there in the scriptures. What's it? First or Second Kings. And there was none like Ahab who sold himself to do wickedness. Highlight that right there. Make sure that's in your notes. These guys are weak men, or wannabe men. Scrawny, wet noodle, jelly back. Man, these guys are so fragile. You try to correct those narcissists. You try to tell them, hey, you got it wrong here, you got it wrong there. And they have they start crashing out, they start coming on Hinge. And now here's a whole bunch of you got that all that bark, all that growling, and all that snarling. a whole bunch of two-legged dogs just running their mouth at you. Oh yeah, let's not forget that there too, huh? Ahab sold himself to do sin. So these guys, not only are they weak wannabe men, they struggle to keep up. That's right, they struggle to keep up the end of their deals with other potential criminals. All they have to do is say some little flatteries, some sweet nothings, some great swelling words of vanity, and just flatter each other. Like a bunch of antichrists. Like someone who's of the follow the devil. Who are going out there committing all sorts of crime. Killing, stealing, destroying. In various ways. By the time you shut down all these criminal charges they've been doing, I don't even think P. Diddy has a chance. That's right, Charles Jr. will not talk about P. Diddy. Mark the Messenger. Oh yeah, where is he when it comes to all these things? But he wants to get out here and act so spiritual. And let's not forget, right? Yeah. The counterfeit chosen ones, the so-called chosen one community, it has criminals among them. Criminals that's hiding there, and the people who are sincere, those who are being deceived and can be, turn from their mess and turn a different leaf to turn to the Father instead of going the way of the devil, to go the other direction. They can get out of there and get away from that mess. So yeah, these shelf men who want to make all these deals with evil individuals that are doing crime or want to do crime for them on their behalf. It's one way or another, they're not going to be able to completely satisfy all these deals and contracts, whether they're verbal or written down or hidden somewhere, one way or another, behind the scenes. There's got to be someone they're answering to, and they're trying to all one way or another sweep it underneath the rug. If they can be the head honcho, that's right. They want people to do their dirt for them because they're too weak, they're too afraid, and they're definitely not men. If they were men, they'll go talk to men like how men ought to talk to each other. First, civilly, respectfully, speak up when they see the wrong, and so forth. So these Ahabs are on serious demon crime or a criminal time. Yeah, it's just, yeah, you can say it that way too. They are doing crime on such high levels to a degree, it's evil. Makes you wonder, are they even human, or shall we say, part of humanity? Or are they some entities in human form? If they can be that evil, makes you wonder, do they even have a soul at all? If they even had a soul, where is it? Is it even still there? Anything left of that soul? It acts like a person, it talks like a person, it expresses itself like a person, but no, that's a mess there. And what is that one thing? Hallelujah. These Ahabs right here, these shell of men who are out here doing all sorts of crime, especially behind the scenes and everything else, they this is going to tie in, okay? here's the thing. There have been Caucasian women, ladies, and so forth. They have, you know, but the melanated women, there's something, there's more of a relatability there. They just, melanated women just know what's up. So let me get this right here. These 6 individuals who want to claim that they are the Hebrew Israelites awakening to some degree, one way or another, or trying to present themselves as children of the kingdom. Here's the thing. That's right, when the Afro-American isn't out here doing crime, being put into the neighborhoods and, targeted by the CIA and so forth, by COINTELPRO, there's, shall we say, Afro-American families that are cool. Not trying to go out there and get in trouble. And if someone's son or daughter gets out of pocket, that tail's going to be fired up. They're going to be blistered. They're going to learn to not do that again. And yes, because of today's standards, hey, as long as it's being done within the home, in the personal space, that child gets whooped, disciplined accordingly. And it's personal business from the public. It's within the, shall we say, closer to the private sector where, that's outside of public affairs. So what happens in their personal lives is supposed to stay there accordingly. So these melanated so-called wannabes who want to make and point the finger and call the Afro-Americans the criminals, the trouble and everything else, when Afro-Americans who are the children of Israel, they want to call them everything else underneath the sun, when these frauds, these imposters, these wannabes are the criminals. They are in so much crime, so much dirt, and they want to get here and run their mouths. Just stop. Take it to a circus somewhere. Take it to whatever circus you came from. I mean, you could try to take it to a circus, but yeah, you've done so much crime. Donald, Desan, Rollo, Lester, otherwise born again Israelites, Karatazar, Mark the Messenger, Charles L. Jr., and the rest of you cult leaders out there, and criminals and such, of different flavors, of different types too. You just need to go you need to be, that's right, you animals had to be locked up and put in a cage. You ninjas. You animals. You brute beast. I tell you, people, there's plenty of Afro-Americans out there that are cool, okay? Those you can get along with. It's white America over there that's losing its ever-loving mind, okay? It's white America that's on criminal time. Plenty of them that are on criminal time. That's right, huh? No one wants to talk about that, huh? But people want to talk about Fight Club? It's a catchphrase, okay? The hypocrisy and the criminal levels of witchcraft. Just stop. It's embarrassing. It's embarrassing for you, warlocks. That's right, warlocks. They like to do a lot of crime when they can. And they'll feel very spiritual about it. Because here's the thing. That melanated woman and that woolly hair, and they know what's up. Just saying. And these so-called wannabe alpha men types, or shall we say wannabe alpha males, they're so strong. They cannot handle the strong, smart, and sweet, as well as sophisticated black woman. What in the world? So let me get this right. You have so-called Israelite men who cannot handle the Israelite woman. Especially those are... Just stop. This is too funny. Just stop. You can't make this up, people. You can't. You have so-called alpha men, wannabe alpha men of the so-called Israelite community that are so strong they have to go run to the weak white woman just so they can go so-called build with a woman and go have children with a woman. Just stop, please. Stop the foolishness. You missed me with that, okay? There are some Israelite women out there that are legit. There's a sister from another mother. I tell you, okay? I tell you. So let me get this right, okay? You want to be you want to be white men? You so-called transracial individuals? You trust... That's a good one right there. Hey, look, if the Father permitted you to be born that nationality, you would have been that nationality, and you would have been 100% received by that nationality, or sufficient enough to have your piece of the pie, okay? Hey, there's no hate here. Just keeping it 100, okay? Keeping it for real. You individuals over there, you have what you have, and you hate it with a passion. You wanted to be that first, and now you want to be you want to be something else now? You want to be transnational? You want to be a transnationalist? You want to go from being a so-called Israelites to being Caucasian? Just stop, okay? 1 minute you were so-called Israel. Another minute as well, you were so-called part of the, so-called black community. That's right. You're trying to present yourselves as, to some degree, as part of Black America. And now you're just, trying to crawl. That's right, crawl dad, tiptoe to the tulips, trying to electric slide over to White America. Not so fast, Michael Jackson. Hey, put some That's right. Put some more in the pan right here and let them cook. That's right. Let them cook. And when you're done, get the sriracha sauce and the hot oil. That's right. Flavor up real good. Let it be hot while it's hot. Put that in your petri dish and study it. Ah, got you real good, huh? So let me get this right. These so-called ninjas were for so-called Black America, but all of a sudden they have a falling out with Black America. They got something so bad against the bold, beautiful black woman. And you, the majority of you being exposed here, and the rest of you cult leaders and criminals, to some degree, probably came out of the womb. One of your ancestors, that's right, one of the bodies of your ancestors, to some degree, came out of the body of a so-called melanated woman. But you're gonna hate on the melanated woman because of this generation. How ignorant can you be? You see the witchcraft being done here on the minds of the people here, folks? I'm telling you, I'm shaking my head. Oh, foolish Galatians, who's bewitched you? It's got to be these ninjas right here, these whitewashed ninjas. Oh yeah, where's your black belt, huh? Hey, when you have something serious here, you can use an icebreaker once in a while, okay? I'm telling you, okay? This is something else, okay? And let me tell you on the conversation, that's right, let me tell you on the conversation level, I'm telling you, a woman, she can let her man know that he's, she likes what she sees. She likes what she feels. She enjoys what she experiences. Yeah. She can let her man know how good looking and how good looking he is on the outside and the inside too. And yeah, that's right, huh? Let's keep it for real, okay? Let's try to keep it pure, okay? Just telling you how it is. Try to keep it 100, okay? The man can let his woman know in other ways how beautiful she is. Sometimes she doesn't have to be told she's beautiful. She can discern it. She can get the clues. She can pick it up. He can tell her everything else and do everything else too. And I tell you, she can know she's loved by that man. She can know that she's got a connection with him. And what else am I missing here? Yeah, that's right, huh? She can tell that he likes her. And she can definitely pick up on the clue that they're connected. They have that connection, and they can see it through the rest of their life if the father sees it fit. It's all about your free will, right? You got to be willing and obedient, and you will enjoy the fruits of your labor. Yeah, that woman can feel beautiful on the outside and the inside too. That man can let her know what's up. Yeah, that's right. You find a legit partner up there, you don't let them go. Don't go looking for some greener grass. Both of you are for real. You stay real. You work it out. When you have tough times, work it out. Hey, look, okay? Let's keep it straight down the middle. Some of your dads and some of your mothers, they had disagreements. They had things that they can disagree. They can agree to disagree on. And things that they say, hey, wait a minute, and just let them know, hey, you're trespassing against me, okay? What are you doing? You're trespassing against me. Are you gonna apologize? Are you gonna shut up your act? Are you gonna stop doing what you're doing right now and get it right with me? Are you gonna change your attitude? Are you gonna stop acting the way you're acting right now? Can you at least stop doing X, Y, and Z and so forth? Hey, look, okay? You're not acting right now. You're not talking right. This is getting too out of hand. You stay right there. I'll go for a walk and I will go cool down, and you come down here too, okay? That's how some of the old-fashioned homes were mentioned or talked about. Sometimes the man and the woman would that's right. The man and the woman at times would be beefing with each other. And they realized that it's said and done after the whole, the whole interaction, the whole conversation, the whole back and forth. They got life to live. Huh? Oh yeah, that's right, huh? Seek the old paths, and you shall find rest for your soul. That's in the book. That's in the book of Jeremiah. The prophet Jeremiah, his account. Seek ye the old paths, and you shall find rest for your souls. And we have these, that's right, huh? We have these ninjas, these criminals, these wannabes, these COINTEL style type of individuals. These, it looks like, it smells like, and it talks like CIA individuals and so forth. Even though they may not actually be CIA, they just move like they're CIA. By their fruits you shall know them. So even if they're not CIA, they are something else. They are some other type of criminal, some next level criminal, from your everyday criminal that you just, pull over and give them a misdemeanor, slap on the wrist or a ticket or something like that, right? Right? So yeah, these criminals are trying to take it all away, trying to mess it all up, trying to keep you from, as well as those who sent them to, the whole entire network in large and in total. It's trying to keep you from learning the old ways that actually work, as well as applying the new things that has to be done. That's right, huh? What's his name? John F. Kennedy? He tried to tell people about this. And here it is right now in your face. The man has to work and the woman has to work, or personally speaking, the man and the woman, one of the two has to come up with a business, has to come in with a trade, has to come in with that, you know, those opportunities. Start, making moves and such. Because these transracial people who are being racist and such, they want the Afro-American, the Israelite people, that's right, the Israelites, of all different shades of color, broke, stuck, and disgusted. But they're gonna bring the Africans from Africa and give them free college, give them welfare if they can, give them all sorts of benefits that belongs to the Afro-American, that belongs to the Israelites. And they want to get out here and be all spiritual, especially towards the chosen ones community. Well, but they're the richest one, right? Because they make people think if they act white, they're right, huh? Now please tell me, if someone's a raccoon, can they come back? Can they be converted? Can they repent? Only the Father knows. And when speaking of that type of creature, that's a type of personality, an evil type of personality, an evil type of character that can make people do criminal activity. A type of reverse racism and such. A type of evil spirit, a demon. Some people, they just do crime because they have demons, okay? Let's keep it for real. So let me get this right again. These these so-called fake, jellyback, scrawny Ahabs want to go minister to the Israelite women and the women and the daughters of Zion, but they're really for white America, the Caucasians who really just hate melanated people and anyone else outside of their inner circle. And so they're trying to get paid from the racist, the secret societies and all those other, those criminal organizations out there and such. Get paid from the wrong people. But they care about the so-called, Afro-American woman, right? So-called. Huh. Hey, oh yeah, that's right, huh? Charles Dahl Jr. likes to go out there in the snow if he can and make some videos. Some content. Huh. Oh yeah, and just like Charles Dahl Jr., huh? Ringo Donald here wants to be a type of Charles Dahl Jr., a type of cult leader who's got a whole bunch of followers, a whole bunch of henchmen, and a whole bunch of criminal activity and criminal charges underneath their belts, trying to hide it as long as possible until it's got to come out, until it's got to be fully revealed and judged one way or another. That's right, FBI, and the rest of you organizations who are listening to this, if you are, one way or another, the Father in heaven can use you to judge those individuals. That's right. You can be used to judge those criminals. Just like how the Israelites were the generations that were being evil, doing all sorts of bad things, the criminal activity that the Father in heaven hated. so much that was just criminal in his land. He sent people from other nations to come pack him up. And yeah, that's right. Put him in the jailhouses and such. The wicked ones. The righteous, the ones that are being citizens, that are actually being obedient unto the Father, they had a chance even in captivity. They had a chance to have it well. You know how it is when you pull up, right? You see the criminals and you see the citizens, right? You deal with the criminals accordingly. And the people who are being citizens, you command them accordingly. And you may even, show them some favor, wherever it may be, that's given to you, to give unto them. That's right, huh? Go back and read the book of Jeremiah, right? All those wicked people in the land, either the Chaldeans, we're going to come and evacuate the people, or those who are going to be in big trouble, who are going to do some hard time. Babylon, and the king of Babylon, Nebuchadnezzar, if that's his name properly, or someone else. He was going to show up and, that's right, come and pack him up. Whoever's going to come and resist him, yeah, they're going to have it rough being detained. Those who were going to go in being detained. And Jeremiah wrote to those who are going to go into captivity to let them know to not be discouraged. Be patient where you're at. Occupy. And remember the Father in heaven. And what else too? Yeah, when the land got, they kicked in the gates and they packed up people from the land. Yeah, Jeremiah was shown favor. The hand of favor was extended to him. He was given the good. That way there was, some inheritance, some land that was, granted and covered by money payments, a bill that was supplied accordingly, a bill of purchase. That way there could be some kind of estate in the land. So he had some good going for him while he was being, picked on and thrown into a jailhouse, into prison, for telling people that they're wrong and they need to stop being evil, get out of the criminal activity, turn back to the Father and get it right with Him. So that way, when they change their behavior, the Father can have the opportunity to keep them going, to keep them inside of his household, inside of his property, his boundaries. And it just kept getting worse and worse to the point where those who were going to get their act right or have a right decision afterwards, make a right choice afterwards, they were going to go and be in a better environment compared to the ones that were going to go be put in timeout. Those who are going to be given a harsher penalty, a harsher or more serious judgment, a judgment that was going to really stick it to them for a few generations, of course. Was it a few generations? You have Daniel, who was a youth in that land. Then you have Ezra, some generations afterwards and so forth, or eventually with the people who, left Babylon to go back to the land, those who wanted to go back to the land. Yeah, these criminals here, Donalds, Rollo, Desan, Charles L. Jr., Lester, Mark the Messenger, and such, they just want to colonize people and be criminal about it and justify themselves among themselves. But the Father knows who they are. And those of you taking notes, yep, they got them put together. They have such a tall criminal record. You can't even put a candlestick to it. That's how big, long, and extensive to the fine detail it is. All of them put together. And the embarrassing thing is, Ringo was one way with compared to P. Diddy. Donald was one way with P. Diddy, but now he wants to come out and defend P. Diddy, Sean Diddy Combs, and come out here and say, well, these black men in the industry, they're always trying to confront the black men in the industry. And yeah, we need to stick up for the black men in the industry here, And then out the same breath or on the same neck, turn the other way and say, well, these black people in these neighborhoods, these ninjas, these animals, and this black fatigue. Donald, you are a criminal, and you are of your father the devil. I rebuke you in the name of Jesus. And you want to come out here and preach, just stop. You want to come out here and preach, but let's make it very clear and simple, okay? In these times we're living in right now, with the economy and everything else, they want people to live by themselves, a one-person apartment, or one-person home, a one-person apartment complex, or studio complex, or studio, and so forth. And they want you to pay what? Close to $1,200 a month, live in a little small place, and then turn around and make you pay all these so-called bills. And I say so-called because the bills is like an illusion. But these criminals here want to make themselves look so smart. You know what the epitome of smart is in philosophy school? The chair does not exist. Wow. How does that help me in real life? How does it? Please tell me. I'll let you get in the comment section and tell me. When I get the notification, I'll go check it out. So these days here, some people, the only way they're going to stay afloat, because this system wants to put the man and the woman and even the children in some corporate or blue-collar slavery of some sort. They want the man working, the woman working, as well as the teenagers, maybe even the children working. No one gets a pass. What in the world? But hey, we're coming to what's his name? George Orwellian. That's right. We're moving towards a Georgian Orwellian dystopia. Agenda, right? How about that 2030, huh? Suppose 2030. I mean, hey, if you know how to pray against that stuff, the Father can give us more time and give us more wiggle room, more space to breathe, and watch these criminals go down for a very long time. Hallelujah. Glory to the King. So yeah, people are gonna really have to grow up and be mature. The more so, be like, hey, let's share this house in here. I'll use this room. I'll take care of my hygiene. I'll bring in some money to help with the bill. Help with the expenses. Go out there and work as well too. Bring in the money as well too. And we make it work out here, okay? And when we got downtime, have some conversation, hang out and chill. And it could be moving to that where more homes have to be shared together, like in the industrial revolution, right? Oh, that's right, huh? The industrial revolution, where families have to move into a building, a house, a apartment, and they had to share part of the front living room in any living spaces, and they had to be patient and bring in some food, bring in um, toiletry and everything else. Just really, make it work out and live in shared living or shared house and such. Also, as a recent, out of learning, found some very useful information. Something that really makes sense now. Because here's the thing. Again, these individuals here, these criminals, these undercover individuals here, that somehow have some information and know about the all these other books that link. That's right. That these other books link to the scriptures. However, the shall we say, publishers of those other books have been demonized so bad. If you even go up to those books and start reading them, people are gonna be looking at you like over their, leaning over with those big old eyes and that big old look in their face. Be like, "Are you this? Are you that? Are you into X, Y, and Z and so forth?" Willis, you're not supposed to judge a book by its cover. Some of us are gonna get it. Some, maybe the Father can deliver them and set them free from the spiritual blindness and the darkness and all these things that it's been stumbling blocks and a hindrance to them. Because these other books, just run into them and the material that's in them, it actually checks out. Go check it out for yourself, And yeah, like most people would do, and take in a prayer. And then when the time comes, crack it open and start reading for yourself. Be led by the Father. Instead of being led by the opinions of some everyday people who are not helping you out, nor making a difference, neither trying to help you in your life, nor your faith. And again, wherever your faith started in, that you gradually move down the road to where you should be at or going to. So yeah, these criminals, they like to appear sincere so much, but they just hate women with a passion. Here's the thing. If they were so spiritual, the love of the Father would be in them. But the love of the world, no, not today. Not today. You're not gonna slide by on this one. Not today. Nope. These criminals love the road so much. They will do all sorts of criminal activity just to get paid, just to get what they want. Even if it means fornicating, being a whoremonger, and everything else. Especially if they're gonna do, despitefully, despite to their dishonor any women that they have, any wives that they have. You're gonna go there, right? Oh yeah, let's talk about that, huh? Let's let's talk about her, huh? What kind of woman you got there, huh? The falls, that's what to be. To be shackled up with some shelf of men, some wannabe tough guy, some clown, some troll, some ninja, some shred up criminal. What kind of And why are you still with them? Huh? Is it because of the money? Is it because of the the witchcraft? You got any backup plans of how to, exit stage left? Kind of woman are you? Being with some of the lowest here. Hey, if you got faith and you're serious about the Father, let's keep it for real here, okay? You could pray to the Father, ask Him to deliver you of your situation, to forgive you, that you apologize and you repent of your sins, known and unknown, that you've been doing all this time, and you no longer want any part with it either. And that's right. Ask Him to deliver you of this evil and set your feet on the right path, to lead you away from evil and to choose to pick the good instead, to let Him lead you unto still waters and green pastures. Because whatever grass and water you're drinking, it's GMO, it's turf, it's plastic, and the water, it's like drinking tap water, sewage, and fluorinated water. That's what it's like over there. But seeking the Father who sent His Son, commonly known as Jesus, yeah. You serious? And the Father sees it fit. You repent of your sins. You seek the Father. Ask Him to get you out of your situation. And who knows? Just maybe He can do a mighty work and deliver you from Nabal, that wicked man of Belial. These so-called wannabe men who act one way on the internet, but they're a completely different individual in real life. And I'm not talking about, they're chill. I'm talking about these individuals right here are on criminal time. They're doing a whole bunch of dirt behind the scenes. They're just, people like to say it these days, these individuals right here are on demon time. They act so nice. They act so kind. They act so moral. They won't even hurt a fly, maybe, when they're on camera. And they talk like, just stop. Stop the hypocrisy. Just stop. Ah. You see this? Let's stop by this real quick, huh? So yeah, these guys right here, they want to get out here and they want to smooth talk women so they can. Oh, that's right. Let's stop there real quick before we forget, and then we can move to everything else. That's right. This criminal here, Donald, like Rollo, he is plotting and scheming against the women. You know, he's doing some premeditated stuff. Add that to your checklist of criminal charges, such as premeditation of, shall we say, in the internet terms, grape. Premeditated, what else? Sexual assault. Oh yeah, we're gonna talk about it too, huh? Premeditated SA. Pardon me there. You can scrub that. Still, fair use, public dealing, fair dealing, and all rights mentioned and not mentioned, as well as declared and not declared, and so forth. Oh yeah, and then what else is there too? Premeditated kidnapping, premeditated you know, threats to other people, threats and harm to other people's lives and well-being and livelihoods and so forth, as well as premeditated forms of vandalism, property damage, stealing, theft, and so forth. All sorts of premeditated stuff. They were looking to line up people, especially the women. And all it took was the little smooth, slithering attempt. Those snakes in the grass. Those wannabe smooth criminals. Annie does not see you walking. Okay? Annie does not see you walking, you white-robed, white-built ninjas. You whitewashed criminals. Trying to cover everything up, cover all your dirt and your filthiness with a coat of white paint. Just stop. Jeez, we're just breaking in still. Let's push into it there and then get to that for sure. So yeah, this criminal here, Donald, as well as Rollo, they were thinking about enticing, smooth talking, love bombing, being so-called flirtatious, shall we say? You know, using flirtations and such. You know, flattering words. That's right, huh? There's a distinction between that's right, a distinction between flattering and flirting. Just like how there's a difference between bonding as well as spending quality time. That's right, huh? You criminals only know so much about marriage, courtship, and faith, family, finances, as well as love towards a woman, as well as a love between a man and a woman. They have a connection with each other and have interest in each other and so forth. Because the love of the world is in you, criminals. Were you going to do crime to obtain the things of this world? Instead of the love of the Father, where the Father can reward our good deeds that's done unto Him and open up doors of opportunity. You can't serve two masters. You can only serve one and despise the other. You can only love one and hate the other. And you wanted to take all these shortcuts, thinking you're going to become the man you wanted to be so bad. You look like an embarrassment. You embarrass yourself so bad. At this point, I'm pretty sure not even the circuses can even accept you. That's how bad it is. When you have someone that goes beyond circus clown on that level of criminality, all you can do is just say no thank you. Take it somewhere else. So these criminals, in particular, were plotting, scheming, premeditating criminal activities of some of the most severe sorts against the defendant. Against one of the defendants here. Among other people they were seeking to victimize. And people have been discreetly, or shall we say some of them were quiet because they do not know any better. And they were lied to. They were flattered. All this high levels of lying and deception was used on them. And those who could, get a clue, they were facing a challenge, they had to either separate themselves and not be involved in that mess anymore, or they were going to play defense. Isn't that right, huh? Forever Studios? You need to get it right, Forever Studios, and get out of there and get it right. You do not want the FBI to investigate your personal business, sir, nor any other institution to investigate your personal life, sir. I'm going to keep it mild so that if you get it right, maybe the Father in heaven can have mercy on you and let you take your situation and turn it around for good. Leave it at that. So these criminals here were plotting and scheming, and they started with flattering towards a potential person that they wanted to victimize. And let me tell you, there's a difference between a wicked, evil, criminal male that is saying all these so-called compliments towards a woman, and there's a man who's, a work in progress, going on to perfection. That man is always looking for some kind of way to improve and be prepared for the kingdom of heaven to come forth and learn more about Jesus, the Son whom the Father has sent, so they can learn about the Father's ways, and get it right the more so in life, that they may be ready and prepared to enter to the kingdom. And when that completion finally comes forth, that man may be valued for what he really is. And the women can discern, perceive, and pick up on that and realize they can get with him and build with him and have a connection with him, even be in love with him and cherish him and appreciate him too. Because here's another good detail right here too. We're going to get to those, okay? Hallelujah. Isaiah 4, chapter 4, 1, verse 1, proceeding forth, it means what it means. All these so-called wannabe men, these fake alpha men, man, I tell you, they are so criminal and they are so evil that it's criminal. How do you get on that kind of level unless you're on demon time? Make it make sense, people. These criminals are so evil, it's criminal. Technically speaking, it's funny because it's true. And all you that's right, all you you so-called people over there, just sit back and co-sign with them. You just let them just act a fool. Oh yeah, when they get in the internet, what they're gonna do? Act a fool. When the stream's playing, what they're gonna do? Act a fool. When they're running their mouth, trying to save face, trying to hide the criminal activity, what you gonna do? Act a fool. You parasites. You don't belong here. One way or another, you're going to get packed up and taken out of the way. You offenses, you stumbling blocks. Jesus made it very clear as an expression, a figure of speech. It would have been better if a millstone was tied to your necks and cast into the sea than for you to offend one of these little ones. You so-called wannabe, you want to open up the scriptures and act like you're a minister? No, you're a false angel. You're a false angel of light. You criminals are false angels of light, trying to hide your criminal activity behind your spiritual front. And the rest of mankind's getting enough of you. Especially the Father in heaven. He's getting enough of you too. One day, you can just be going through your day in judgment. He can drop sudden judgment on you individuals, you criminals. He can make it very slow, very meticulous, very precise, well calculated, and painful. And then when he's done, the book is closed. Enough is enough. This is your life. This is your life. This is your thoughts. This is your intents. And that's how you really was. And people are going to be looking at you like, whoa, what in the world? And the whole time they've been, you mean to tell me he said he was the realist and he loved God and he did all that? Oh no. Oh no. I believed a lie. No. Oh no. It's right there in the book of Revelation. Those who make lies and those who love lies. You need to repent today, or as soon as possible, when you can. There's so much out of this whole, criminal den that we need to get away from in this world. There's all sorts of criminals out here, different types. There's criminals who want you to pay taxes. That's right. Go look it up in the Constitution. Show me where in the Constitution you have to pay taxes. See? But they want to tell you by law. What kind of law, okay? A law that's beneath, that's right, a law that is beneath the Constitution. That's right, huh? It's been confirmed, taxes are voluntary. Now let's proceed, huh? So that one point that was being mentioned earlier here. So this is it really makes more sense now from learning from this material here. Let me tell you, okay? Let me be rough with you, okay? Let me share in a respectful and honorable manner. Some of you men, there's plenty of men out there where it's working out with them and their wife. It's good. They're content. What further need do they have? They get with that one woman. There's a connection. They talk with each other. They go through life together. They spend time together. They grow together and do what they do as a team together. What further need do they have or will want pertaining to that area? If the man's content. So if that man's 100%, monogamous, why bother, right? Shall we say? Now here's the other thing. There are men who are officially gifted. It's been given to them the capacity, the ability to function. That's why I say to properly carry themselves, be responsible, and conduct themselves in covering additional women. And that one wife or one woman that he's the closest with, that's right, huh? She could be a Proverbs 31 woman. Crack open that book and tell me if I'm wrong, okay? Get the scriptures and tell me if I'm wrong. Go to Proverbs 31. Read the whole chapter. Tell me if I'm wrong. That woman, he knows her value. He's like, well, what else do I really need here? This woman, she's a gem. Because you got these other so-called, men out here in the world where they can only fill in that special, they try to fill in that special place in their heart, in their being, in their soul, by trying to amass all these riches. And I'm talking about not just have enough, not just have a little extra inside. I'm talking about, filthy rich. I'm talking about just coveting. I'm talking about greed. I'm talking about can't have enough. I'm talking about hand over fist. And I'm talking about, doing criminal activity to get that kind of money, to get that kind of reward or that value. I'm telling you, a man meets the right kind of woman, there's a connection going there too. She knows she is loved by that man, and she knows, and she gets it. She's wise, and she's gonna cleave on. That's right. She's gonna cleave unto that man. She's gonna do everything in her potential and her capacity to make it work out with that man, to treat that man good, to let that man know that he is loved, and she cares about him, and she supports him. Because when the man goes out there and he's being legit, he's getting things done, he's getting work done, working on his purpose, whatever is given to him, even given to him from the Father in heaven. That woman right there, that Proverbs 31 potential woman, I tell you, and I tell you, and I tell you, she can have that man go on for extra couple miles. She can pray for him. She can support him. She can help him out. Oh yeah, what's it right there in the book of Sirach? A woman who's a pillar of strength for her man when he's weak in his weakness. Because you know how it is with these women out here in the world that have not been born again, or they don't know, or they don't get it. There's women out there where they need to be there for their man. They show up and support him, learn how can they help him, and if they're in the faith, to pray for him. So as shown in Psalms 18 there, that she sought the Father in support of that man. And that man, he can run through a troop and leap over a wall. And then turn around and get the Father the glory and the praise. And commend that woman for being there by his side all that time. Letting her know that even though there's all these other women who like him or are interested in him, she surpassed them all. She has a special place in his heart. She is that gem, that special jewel. That's like how a man's referred to of a value of like a fine precious metal, a precious metal that's refined. That woman fits in that slot right there, in that socket, in that place where the gem belongs, the jewelry or the precious gem or so belongs in. She fits in. She has that unique, that one of a kind connection to that man. That place that's in that man that fills in the gap. That special area in that man's heart. So that man who's in the faith, and he's born again, him and the Father are side to side working things out, going through the walk in the faith, so that he can be prepared for the kingdom and go into perfection. And that virtuous woman right there, And I tell you right now, so it is. You're with that man right now. Even though he fumbles, he stumbles, and he, has a setback here and there, or, is going through it. Be there for him so he can get refined. Get refined the more so. Even 7 times if it be so. Hey, the Father swears like silver trying to furnace 7 times. And he's even mentioned what in the book of Revelation or somewhere like that, where it's along the lines of, you want to be rich, you want to be wealthy, buy me gold trying to furnace 7 times. And you have these criminals right here on Demon Time that are full of dross. They want to make you think they're golden, but they're sulfur. You put a little pressure, a little friction there. You're like, oh, ooh, ugh, what's that? Oh, that's nasty. Oh, ooh, no, ew, that's sick. Ew. These criminals, these wannabe alpha men, they are running to the core. Okay. They're so bad right now. You could look at them and they look nasty to a degree. If you can pick it up, you can realize what kind of creature I'm looking at. That thing's, ugh, that thing's nasty. That's sick. That's an abomination. And yeah, that man could be used for you women too, to also get refined as well too. Go do your research if you have to. You take all these gemstones, all these precious ores and such, all these minerals and such, like emerald, ruby, topaz, jade, sapphire, jet, and so forth, and even diamond is. Let me tell you, diamond is overhyped. Okay. You can take all sorts of things that are carbon based, refine it, and put pressure to it, and you can make a diamond out of it. Do the whole process of breaking it down and putting pressure and putting it through the machines and such. Putting it through the machinery, and you can come out with a diamond-like material. All these other gemstones that you unearth and you dig up, I'm telling you, some of you so-called men, you pass out on the gem because you didn't want to water her with the word. You did not want to be her man, to be her husband. You did not want to help her grow either. You just want to be the way you are, and you want to allow her to be the way she is. You did not even want to pray for her. You didn't want to support her. You just looked at her as if she needs to be this way or else, and you just let her go. And now she's looking for someone else. And then, one way or another, some other man just, the day comes where the Father just, gives her that opportunity and gives that man an opportunity. And that man who's, serious about the faith, serious about this newness of life, and he's making efforts, he's getting refined himself. He sees that woman, he's like, yeah, that's right there. Yes, yeah. Hallelujah. Glory to the King. I don't mind. Yes, please. Thank you, Father. Hallelujah. He helps that woman get refined, even if she's been at it for however long. Whatever the Father equipped that man with, he can help her grow as well too. So both, if that's right, if both are in the faith, yeah, the Father can do a greater work with both of them on a higher extent, to where he's getting refined more in areas that he cannot even imagine nor even think of, and she can get refined more so in other areas too. Oh yeah, and what did Job mention too? That even though he's going to go through what he's going through, he's going to come out like gold, like, if I remember correctly, like pure gold. I mean, hey, you want to be with that man who's going to go through hell and high water, go through the storm, take all that heat, and still be standing because the Father's with him. Greater is he that's in him, in that man, than in the world. All those blows, all that smoke, all that trouble that man's been through, there's only been that opportunity for him each time to get even that more purged, perfected, prepared. And you being faithful woman, you can get refined too. So that when you're standing before the Father as well too, the Father can commend you for what you have become as the end result. Because those different gemstones, sure, you can make them a certain way, and it's still gonna kind of work. But the ideal, to make it perfect for its design, you gotta mold it here, mold it over there, and so forth, like clay in a potter's hand. And so when that gem, that material, however it was or is at the present time, and then afterwards, when it's said and done, it comes out to its perfect design. So yeah, you virtuous women, as well as women who want to be virtuous and want to be with the right man, especially a man who's in the faith, work with them, talk to him, communicate with them, have some compassion, be patient with them, even pray with them, and love them. Treat him so good, like how you would want him to treat you. So when he's making progress, your soul will be satisfied. You'll be so happy. You can smile like no one else can smile. And you can thank the Father and bless his awesome and mighty and set apart name for giving you that man. You see, women, especially those of you in the faith, and you're dealing with that man, even if he's at least courting you, even if it's on that kind of level, at least, that's right, do not shortchange yourself. And make the effort and take in a prayer and seek the Father's will too. What more can you enjoy out of your happiness than to have a man who's in the faith and he's just doing what he's got to be doing, and he gets to spend time with you, appreciate you, do things together with you, and you don't need to be looking for anyone else, because all those different areas and needs, both you can work it out together. He can love you. He can help you in those different areas. And he can be used by the Father to satisfy your soul in other areas that was just needing some serious help, so that your soul can be satisfied, so that your joy may be filled, that your joy may be full, the more so that your obedience can be, your service unto the Father can increase the more so. So that at the resurrection, when people have to go up there and give an account, you can at least be satisfied and happy and thankful you spent time in your life, and if it be given to you from the Father, the rest of your days with that faithful man in the faith. And all those years, it worked out. And you could thank the Father for putting you together with that man. And if the Father sees it fit, that both of you would be counted worthy to enter into the kingdom. Both of you can be spouses together in the kingdom, and forever the more so. And both of you could be happy and overtaken with great joy and just enjoy the kingdom together. It's so good. You can only grasp so much of it. No eye has seen, no ear has heard what the Father has prepared for those that love Him. See, there's so much in this bigger picture here. When it comes to life and you're keeping the faith, you don't want to miss it out. You do not want to miss out on all this goodness, all this happiness, and these things that's going to make it all worth it at the end. Because these criminals out here, these two-legged dogs, will do anything they can to entice anyone to go along with them. They'll do whatever they can to go to work on your flesh, your senses, your how your body thinks and it functions, versus how your conscience and your mind functions. They will try to hijack you through your emotions, through your senses, all that manipulation, all those criminal moves, and try to do things like flatter you, try to deceive you, and try to entice you, try to give you some pocket change, try to give you 30 shekels of silver just for you to go along with the plan, or go with them, or go alongside with them. And some of these criminals, that's right, some of these criminals will try to, present a different front to you. They'll try to come towards you from one direction or another direction or angle. For example, one's going to talk real smooth. The name's Bond. James Bond. Please tell me how goofy that is. Well, let's be for real here, okay? Some of these criminals think they are so slick and so smooth, and people think nobody can see them. They'll do everything. They're over there, tiptoeing in broad daylight, trying to, stalk right in. And just like the fall of the devil, going about as a lion, sneaking through the grass like a snake in the grass, just prowling. And as soon as they can get in for just within, enough space, slide right in, and just like a roaring lion, seeking whom they may devour, seeking whom they may grape, seeking whom they may fornicate with, seeking whom they may turn into a piece of meat, into a side piece, seeking whom they may turn into a so-called concubine, seeking whom they may use and toss and discard to the side, seeking whom they may swindle, seeking whom they may delete, seeking whom they may intimidate and make all sorts of threats and use them as a stepping stool and means of advantage and so forth. Just like their father the devil. That's right, both sides have to be heard. And this other side, the majority don't like it because it makes their cult leader look bad. That's right, their little cult leader. Those criminals playing charismatic cult leader. The cult of personality. These criminals wanted to flatter as many potential victims, including the defendant, with all sorts of flatteries, trying to tell them how beautiful they are, how gorgeous, how good looking they are, and everything else, just so that they can hijack their minds, try to find their weak spot, exploit it, and either kidnap them or exploit them one way or another, and do all sorts of criminal activity towards them. That's how criminally, or how evil they are, that it's criminal. They're going to do some high level of feats of criminality that you can only put so much space in there to try to fit it all in. That's right, their evil works, their criminal activity is being exposed from the housetops and through the technology of Satan, otherwise considered the smartphone, the TV, the tablets, the laptop, the computer, and such. You like using this material, this technology, you criminals, to exalt yourself, to say you would be like the Most High? And though you comfort, though you set yourselves up on high, like an eagle in their nest, the Father in heaven can bring you down to hell with Pharaoh and the rest of the kings on the road who were straight up criminals and animals and such. All this criminal activity you want to do because you wanted to feel like a man but not be a real man. And let me Yeah, let's cover those two other things and then get back into this for sure. Or get to that for sure. Otherwise, in speech. Yeah, a real man, depending how the woman is and how she's been taught, she can receive compliments from a real man. And that real man can let her know, hey, what's up? Let her know, hey, you could bring her over here. Don't be so shy. Bring her over. That's right, bring her over here. Don't be shy. How you doing? You got some downtime to have a conversation? What do you like to talk about, huh? Oh yeah, let's talk about the old-fashioned days, huh? That's right, back in the old-fashioned days. That's right, some of these women, they weren't playing. They see a man, they know what's up. They want to come and find out what's up. They want to come and find out about him. They're going to go up to him with that big, pleasant, one-of-a-kind smile that just, it's hard to put words to it, but you know that particular smile. They go up to that man, they sit in his lap, and they're all smiling. And then it gets the man's attention, and they start talking. Even though she might have butterflies in her stomach, she goes up to him and sits on his lap and starts talking to him. Even though she's speak with a sweet, soft, and feminine voice, she's talking to him, trying to have a conversation with him. And the two are talking. Well, in all the stuff people could be doing, they're missing out. These days, this is how watered down it is. The women see a man, they smile, and some of them, they get provocative. They dress provocative in one way or another. They really want the man to see their figure, their form, their body, their shape, how they're designed. They want the man to appreciate what he's saying. They want to know if he likes what he sees. If he thinks that she's beautiful, if she's looking good, if she's looking mighty fine. Is she a dime? Is she a brick house? If she's getting his attention, if she can anticipate and just waiting for him to talk to her. Some of you, I'm shaking my head because look, some of you women, the only way you can get that man is like, hey, go up to him and keep it 100. It can be challenging. Have that conversation with him. Let him know what's up. Have a, small talk, open it up, and start from there. A little here, a little there. Practice on top of practice. Process. Give it some time. Both of you start hitting it out. Or, both of you start working out. Figuring it out together. Because, just keeping it straightforward. Some women, the man, he's interested in you. And he knows what, you may even know what he thinks about you and how he feels about you. And some of you just have to some of you just have to go up to him and initiate the conversation. Some of you just have to go up there and just start talking with the man. And he's gonna crack open like a treasure chest and reveal all those treasures that's stored up in him. Man, I'm telling you, both of you could be talking for hours on end. And it's going great. And finally, the icebreaker, the foot in the door, the opportunity. And both of you are just enjoying each other, just talking to each other. And it goes from there. Some of you women are looking for a so-called, shall we say, how people like to say these days, an alpha man. Sometimes you gotta be, you're looking for that lion. Sometimes you gotta be a lioness. Sometimes you gotta be courageous. Go up to that man and let him know what's up. Let him know what you think. Start talking. Really start that conversation, getting it going. Sometimes that man could be on business. Sometimes that man could be taking care of business, taking care of matters and so forth. And sometimes you just gotta let him know and have that conversation. Start the conversation, get it going. And sometimes you have to be the one to initiate contact. Sometimes you have to be the one to initiate the compliments, the suggestions, like, hey, when can we meet up next time? Hey, can we talk again? Really, make the move. That's right. Make the moves, right? Sometimes the men are just out there taking care of business and just, especially the men in the faith, just doing the Father's will, doing whatever the Father gives them to do. That's right, doing what the Father would have them to do, and just, he's going about life, and all of a sudden he runs into you. Sometimes you gotta be the one that just, gets things moving. And sometimes, hey, both of you could just be cool for a while, And as it is, don't be... That's right, huh? Don't be so shy. Don't start blushing. Is that a smile on your face? Are you blushing? Sometimes you women gotta speak up. Because there's other women out there. There's some righteous women out there. And there's some wicked women out there. Those women, that's right, those wicked women out there are prowl, okay? Looking for a victim. Looking for a man to snatch up and squeeze him dry. And there's even, let's say, you got some man who's like a, Israelite man. He could be lighter or darker. That Afro man, right? That Israelite man, right? And those Caucasian women out there, those women from white America who got agendas, those so-called snow bunnies, they're fixing to line up that man. They're fixing to line up the Afro man. They are fixing to line up that Israelite man. They want to snatch up that man. And I'm telling you, those wicked Caucasian women out there, in particular, they want to snatch up that Israelite man, and they want to trap him. If they can get any children of that man, they're gonna take those mulattoes, those that's right, those mixed children. They're gonna indoctrinate them into white America. And if they can't use you up for the rest of your lifetime, oh, they're going to do you dirty. They're going to take you to family court. They're going to pillage you. And if they can, get their family involved. Come and see about you. Those wicked Caucasian women in particular are going to be on some criminal time, trying to do some criminal stuff. And these criminals right here in particular, being mentioned, these animals, these ninjas that want to be part of quote-unquote white America, they should take it over there. They should take the criminal activity to the she-devil over there. A wicked woman is part of the portion of a wicked man, so why are they trying to mess with a righteous sister, huh? Why are they trying to mess with a righteous woman? Huh? How am I going to get through this? Hold on, be patient. Yeah. I'm going to try to make this as brief as possible. So, there's some wicked women out there plotting and scheming against a righteous man, especially Israelite man. They're fixing to line them up, snatch them up and use them, abuse them, toss them to the curb. And you, women, especially those in the faith, including your righteous women, unless you get your eye on that man, you have him in mind, can't stop thinking about him, you really just want to bring him over here, bring him in your arms, or you just want to be in his arms and everything else, Don't be so, that's right, don't be so shy. Move in. Hold that man down. So even if the father would have it, that's right, lock that man down. Take care of him so that he doesn't need to be looking for another woman. Proverbs 31, where he doesn't need to be the potential he sees in you and finds in you and appreciates and enjoys from you. It can get better and better. Even when you think you just can't get any better, or even if you think you can't keep improving, you just somehow just get better and better. Because, what was mentioned earlier pertaining to quote-unquote polygyny, it's been mentioned that there's that one woman in particular among the women that he covers that he's providing for and, giving them the opportunity to become wives, to become mothers, in particular to become mothers, and to raise children, and those children to be fathered by a man, and so forth. Even though he could be, covering those other women and taking care of their needs, but that one woman in particular, he's got that special placing for you in his heart somewhere. So even though he could be taking care of all these other women or that other woman and, pouring into her, trying to get her improved, perfected, and ready for the kingdom, even though he can hug that other woman, even though he can kiss that woman on her forehead, on her cheek, or even on her lips, if it's even like that, still, he doesn't feel, nor receive, nor perceive, not even in his soul, like a witness in his spirit, can even come close to what it is between you and him. Oh yeah, I check out the material so far, what I've been learning from. So even though he could be covering other women, there's that one woman in particular right there. It could be you. That Proverbs 31 woman that There's no competition. There's no need to worry. You're secured in his heart. And if you both continue in righteousness, both you secure together in the kingdom, as the Father sees fit. It all things work out to the good to those who believe. Hallelujah. Glory to the King. So yeah, let's try to keep this as brief as possible without turning this into a into a 4 or 5 hour video or so, right? So yeah, Ringo here, or shall we say Donald in more particular, he's an infiltrator, a criminal in disguise. He was trying to play cool with the Huh. Interesting. So let's get this straight here, right? All of a sudden, these 4 individuals, Ringo, Donald's, Rollo, Desan, New Breed, and so forth. They had things going one way or the other. All of a sudden, a falling out happened. All of a sudden, Rollo was seen as in a bad light. And all of a sudden, that whole falling out, what happened between Ringo and New Breed, it was cool for a little bit of time. And of course, New Breed started to learn about, things from Donald. So again, if these videos comes towards New Breed, yeah, make the effort to get it right. Reach out to Pastor. Yeah, that's right. Reach out to Pastor Rufus. Just let him know, hey, you, and make the effort to make some changes and get it right in different areas. What you've been doing for a while, it seems it's good to your own side, but you just gotta get the help you need there, because these 3 animals right here, these 3 criminals, are trying to eat. Yeah, that's right. They're trying to bury you, sir. They're trying to bite and devour you. They're trying to throw you underneath the bus. They're trying to. They traded you in for a so-called better deal. So they think. So Donald here knew about Rollo about a year ago here. Let's get this right here. Back in April of last year.
It's your boy, Ringo.
About personal meetings and private meetings and such. All this plotting and scheming, right? So everything was exposing Rollo for who he is, how desperately conniving he is, and so forth, right?
It's your boy, Ringo TV React.
Oh, that's right. You can go look at the comment section there too. Brief view of the comment section here. Jealousy, huh? Yep. Criminals can get. There are individuals out there who can get jealous because you're being legit and things are working out for you. And these imposters, those criminals, and just people who don't want to do things the right way, they get upset because they don't want to learn. They want to do things the hard way. Oh yeah, their so-called, shall we say, their so-called cousin, Charles Dog Jr., the some way, one way or another, he's trying to keep on the down low. He knows he's got a hand in it. He's got a horse in that race over there with those other criminals. Donald, Rollo, the son. And in the previous video there too, that's right, huh? Charles Dog Jr. was trying to get New Breed and Brainway, the son, on his on this land in the meetups somewhere somehow. They were trying to do some business, some deals, some work behind the scenes together, some potential criminal activities. And what happened with UP Farms? Yeah. Rollo, Donald just wanted to get a piece of the pie. He wanted a certain size of that pie. He thought it wasn't enough for his appetite. So it wasn't good. And of course, all the stuff that they do to people and towards people, it's a good thing it did not fully materialize. What's worse than a cult? Another two cults working together. Two cults that got land, firearms, criminals, fraud, narcissists, as well as agents from the system like the CIA, certain parts of the military that are being hidden and classified and so forth. And they want to run the show as cult leaders, like unto Jim Jones. What's worse than one Jim Jones? Another Jim Jones. Two Jim Jones working together. So you mean to tell me these individuals had a so-called skit, a bad episode, a bad situation, and now it's videos over and over again, left and right. Donald, Rollo, the son, making videos almost every day that they can against New Breed. But they supposedly have a life to live. They have, so-called work that they're supposed to be doing. Careers, jobs, business, a hustle, wherever it may be. But they're over there trying to bury their competition because they made the deal. That's right. They made a pact. A pact. They were going to throw New Breed underneath the bus and try to bury him and make everyone else just leave him so they can take and try to, that's right, steal his talent, and if possible try to, maybe take his land from him, wherever they can do, to take what he's got and try to, take him off their hands, wipe their hands clean of him, because they were jealous, they were envious, they were wanting so bad to be the next phenomena, the next big shot, the next hit honcho, the next all that in a bag of chips. All this because someone had potential, and instead of seeing them go to the next level from investing in them, You wanted to bury them just because you want to be number one so bad. Everything was peaches and cream with UP Farms, huh? And womanizing and all this carnal stuff, huh, Donald? Look at that, celebrating birthdays. Birthdays are... You'd be surprised when you quit a lot of evil stuff in your life. You will have less tendencies and less desires to do things that people would consider wrong, but would definitely be potential to open people up to do criminal things. Look at this infiltrator. See this? Why he left the black community, and also why he left the black Hebrew Israelite community too. Look at this guy. Modern day New Age teacher. Chosen ones. Trying to peddle, trying to recruit, trying to get money off from the chosen one community, the counterfeit chosen one community. So he could get their money, get people to work for him, service him, and so forth. Just so they can hide his criminal activity behind henchmen and people who are being deceived and led astray by him, and so forth. And since these individuals are narcissists, especially Rolex, look how this guy dresses. He's going to make sure he buys himself the most exquisite, particular, shiny and flashy and stylish clothing. He has to be looking stunning just to draw all this attention, just to get all those clicks, likes, and views. Yeah, we can tell who the jealous one is now, huh? Donald. Yeah, Donald's so jealous. He wants to be like everyone else who isn't him. And now we know who you are now, huh, Donald? Oh, no. But we gotta talk about that too, huh? So Donald here is running with a fake businessman, a contrapreneur, a fake entrepreneur that runs scams and scamming people. And of course, she's running with a so-called high school cop, a cop who's like a cross-guard of a sort, where there's children involved, where he's supposed to watch out for the safety of children. The son is a so-called cop working for a school, right? So, how do you... 2 wrongs don't make a right, but 3 wrongs? No. You get that out of here. You don't. You don't even let that fly in your face. But we're going to talk about it, aren't we, huh? You have 3 individuals that are antisocial. They have something that makes them some personality quirk, some criminal behavior that they are up to, or ways about them, as well as character, personality deficits and such, that they have to go out of their way to be antisocial, but they want to be seen and praised by men. Just stop. Just stop. Please. On top of it, you have a guy who wants to talk about all these different avenues of relationships, not for the intended goal for... See, here's the thing. A few videos ago here in the series, Rollo and Desan was exposed for being fraud, for being fake believers. They heard about when Worley mentioned a credible deliverance minister, a credible person you can learn from in the faith, or from the faith. And yeah, they were mentioned. And instead of helping these women get the help that they need, so the women were to have any, anything in their personality that needs to be worked out, if the woman had to be water baptized and born again, if the woman had certain problems and needed demons cast out of them in the name of Jesus, Rollo as well as the son, those two were not going to do that kind of work, but they want to really quote a bunch of scriptures, and then that's right. They then want to turn around, just like Ringo here, Donald, turn around and use the scriptures to just talk down and beat down on the women. When there are women out there who need to be born again, and women that need prayer as well as demons cast out of them in the name of Jesus. But these criminals want to act like they're for the women, especially if they have daughters too, when the whole time they are womanizing, and in secret will do some of the most criminal things to women. So again, you have a guy who wants to talk about, cousins marrying each other, right? So gray area, depends where he is. So it could be done in the right way. It could be done in the evil way, depending who's trying to go that direction. And then you have someone talking about, how young is she? And then you have a so-called cop who's a school cross guard. And then you got a known con man or discreet con man that is known for the allegation. If it's a so-called allegation, right? It's just an allegation, right? You can tell how sarcastic I'm being right now. Huh? You mean, hey, if it was just an allegation, why are you so worried? Why are you so troubled? Are you shaking? Are you afraid? Is judgment just around the corner somewhere? 3 rounds is a no-go. You have a guy who'll talk about, when it comes to young ladies who are developing, who are on the progress of becoming women, who are growing from being girls to developing into women. Then you have another male who's infamous to a degree, an extent, for rape, for SA, for violating and doing some messed up stuff to women, for having bad hygiene and pushing himself up on women and try to get them to do things for him against their will, do forced coercion. And then you have pretty much like a school crossing guard where he's around children. Oh yeah, let's not forget, let's not forget these 2 points. Ringo talked about it too, or shall we say Donald talked about it. That's right, Donald talked about it for sure. There's videos some months ago where he talked about it, either in a video or a live stream. Yeah, somewhere in these videos somewhere. Yeah, somewhere in this range. Not too long ago. Where he was outside in the salon talking about it. Okay? That's where it was, okay? So if this guy's, in the faith, why is he talking about how great and glorious those days were back in the time when he's a teenager and so forth? Talking about how he used to go to the barber shop, he met with the right people, he'll go to the club and go fornicate and get intoxicated. But he wants you to think he's a man of the faith. When he's in love with that old lifestyle, and he would love to do that. Just stop. He would love to go back to doing that kind of filth, to his filthy conversation, his filthy lifestyle. And then I'd turn around and he would, let's see, what is it? Oh, that's right. He would talk about how when he was a teenager or so, or something like that, he would talk about how in the high schools or so in the schools, that there would be men out there with the good-looking cars, with money in their hands, a big pocket, a lot of money in their pocket, and how they would roll up to the high schools and start begging the quote-unquote shorties, begging the teenagers, the teenage ladies, taking them with them, and then bring them back afterwards. You see where this is going, people? That's not good. You had these you had these criminals here that want to some capacity, womanize, and that's broadly speaking. Yeah, that's right, broadly speaking, because Mark the Messenger, the rest of his dirt has to come out eventually, in due season, one way or another. So, in the good portion here, you have womanizers that would do it. That would do the unthinkable. If they can get their hands to grape teenage ladies, if they can kidnap, deceive, especially to traffic women and such, they would do the worst of the worst and try to play innocent. Yeah. They want to talk about everything else. They want to talk about everyone else, what they do. What about them? Can they meet the measure that they meet unto others? Are they themselves plotting and scheming to not only violate adult women, but also to violate teenagers, especially teenage ladies? Oh yeah, by the way, his little daily positive confessions, affirmations, energy, and thoughts, little videos there. Let me give you a scoop on that real quick. Donald here, he was pretty much copying someone else. He was copying, in particular, it's so close and hard to deny, is trying to copy the defendant. He was intentionally on a level stealing and copying and counterfeiting intellectual property. Trying to take someone else's effort, concept and their material, their what they've worked on, and try to counterfeit it, try to replicate it, reproduce it for the wrong intentions, for the means of stealing from them to make money and gain off it. That's right. Donald's YouTube channel here, Ringo TV Reactions, as well as Ringo TV Raw. He's trying to make money off intellectual property, whether they are his own or someone else's, without their permission. Jot that down for your criminal charges there too on Donald. He's over here stealing intellectual property from other people and from people, and making money off it, and trying to copy other individuals' intellectual property and trying to make money off it too. As well, trying to make money based on hating people. But he's got love, supposedly, right? No. Just no, he doesn't. He's a criminal, and he's got a whole bunch of hate, evil, animosity, and so forth in his heart. And again, he knows, like the rest of them, about some of these books and materials that the people in the faith need to learn about and read about. We're living in the worst times in history. Now, the reason why I can say that is because he got the concept from somewhere else. And it's a good chance. It's a very good chance of telling the system sent him, because he talks about that kind of information. Worst case scenario, he probably is selling wolf tickets like them, like the rest of those criminals. And he probably may not even know what a wolf ticket is. Shame. That's how it is, how you spot them. Here's another thing he likes to do. Present false information. How can he fix the narrative and present a very different story? So, those criminals, they can take information, manipulate it, fix it, doctor it, purge, and everything else. Then turn around and present a very different story from what the original story was presented. And look at this. 2 months ago, he's still harassing women through the internet. Still being an internet bully, being a criminal, by going overboard to the point where it's just out of pocket, obsessive, too far gone. Look at this. Consistently harassing the woman behind DoorDash. If Donald here was of the faith, he should be praying for people and teaching them the word the proper way, instead of trying to have a form of morality, but denying the power, the evidence, and the conviction, and the results thereof. From such you turn away. But he's out here harassing women on the internet, talking bad about women, trying to make the woman be 100% at fault, when clearly there's more to it than what's presented. Both sides has to be presented. Investigation and everything else to figure all out. So yeah, this criminal here, he's got a lot of experience in manipulating people and using them and trying to hide it behind the front. And what's it like this video right here? People are not good. He's talking about himself. There's another video like unto it where he's laying on the bed and talking. And the rest of his, that's right, this criminal mastermind has Rollo, as well as the song, otherwise known as Brainwaves. Out here, copying him to the T, being his partners in crime. That's it, partners in crime. Doing dirt together with them, because they're all trying to get paid, and they're all trying to make money off their criminal enterprise, all their criminal operations. Money off the Show Someone community, money off YouTube, money off someone who's behind the scenes. Got them doing what they're doing. Yeah, strange thing too is that he trying to make it look good for P. Diddy. And he tried to talk so convincing, like he's very skilled at judging the matter. Only for P. Diddy to at least get 4 years instead of life. Look at that treachery right there. That hat. Also, look in his face. Why does he look like Mark the Messenger? How is Donald making America great when he's causing a problem? And you know what else here too? Let's see if I can find it right here. That's right. At least one of his daughters, or two, to some degree, they're getting older. Shall we say, supposedly his daughters, because these individuals here, they're living double lives. They make you think they're family men, they're businessmen, that they're out there doing what they're doing as so-called men. When the whole time they have been faking it so bad. And how would you if you're a so-called dad, how would you let your daughters wear eyeliner, makeup, and stuff like that? Why would you even let that fly? And on top of it, if you're making $12,000 or even $16,000 or especially more or so each month, why are you out here eating fast food that has got bad stuff in it? So where's this money all going to, huh? Oh, that's right. Fancy clothes, fancy cars, and a bunch of things and so forth that should not be disclosed unless a diligent investigation and seizing of materials was to come forth, right? Trying to hide it all, aren't you, huh, Donald? You see this right here? The desperation, the evil of that criminal, Donald, pointing the finger at people when he needs to be pointing a finger to himself and just simply turn himself in and do the time. And look at that Popeye face right there too. Why does he look like Mark the Messenger? You can look at that guy's face, Mark the Messenger. He looks disgusting. Like a frog. Oh yeah, what's the book of Revelation say about those kind of individuals? Or the frog? Or concerning the frog? The frog's an unclean spirit. Unclean demon. So you want to talk? You got the song talk about people being froggy. Those criminals, are the ones being froggy. Here's another thing too. Since they're trying to make their money, that's right, they're trying to make their money. They're willing to throw anyone underneath the bus and out of the way they can. There's another shall we say victim, another targeted person, where they were a moderator, just helping clear out the disrespectful people, making sure everything's being respectful. And because she called out what Rollo was doing to her and what Rollo's really about, that's right, who Floridian Rollo really is, they got mad and they threw her out of the way. They threw her underneath the bus. They kicked her to the curb. And all these individuals here, all these followers that are supposed to know any better, especially Chandra Hamilton, that's what they claim to be. They claim that she's a lawyer of a sort, and a crooked one too. So they threw one woman underneath the bus because she called out who Rollo was, and they wanted to Donald, as well as the son, wanted to protect Rollo from women who are exposing him. By the way, everyone else is stupid, right? But you're so smart. Yet you put your first and your last name out there like that for the internets to You cannot say nor claim that you've been doxxed when clearly you're running with a criminal that cannot reveal their first and last name like you do.
We gotta talk about.
In this video right here too, I got something based on this video right here I can share. Let's make it very clear and simple so you think I'm not quote unquote making up allegations and I'm quote unquote just hating. Let me make it very clear. If this guy, this criminal, Donald, was so moral, so righteous, such a good person, why is he afraid of something bad that would happen to him? Why is he afraid of a mountain lion or something that would show up in the dark at night and potentially come and try to get him? Why would he say that kind of nonsense if he's not supposed to be afraid? When clearly Proverbs 28 verse 1 says, or mentions, the wicked flee when no man pursues, but the righteous are as bold as a lion. So if Donald was such a moral man, why is he afraid of what is he afraid of, huh? Why is he afraid something would happen to him? Why is he afraid that something strange would be his end? If he had nothing to worry about, huh? If he had nothing to worry about, then why is he so afraid and concerned? Why is he the one crashing out? Why is he the one that's got this whole people need to understand and people just hating? Oh, people called me a demon. Just stop. Oh, here's some other bonuses here too. He wants to expose Umar Johnson for what he is and point out that Umar Johnson put on a little bandana on his head that's got the the 5-pointed star. So, since Donald is a narcissist, he speaks of himself as much as possible. Even to the point to where he played a so-called skit pretending to be broke, and so he made it look like a skit. So that's he can make money by trying to make people feel sorry for him. So he has criminals that are looking out for his well-being. Criminals have to join him in the prison, in the slammer, in the penitentiary, to be locked up. All those other criminals have to be locked up with him for a pretty long time. And if worst case scenario comes, for the rest of their days. And he's so sold out to the system. He wants to push Hulk Hogan because it's popular, and other things because they're popular. Also, he wants to throw the melanated people, as also a so-called Hebrew Israelites community, underneath the bus. The black Hebrew Israelite camps out the window underneath the bus, or pretty much underneath the bus, so he can clean his own hands. And after making enough followers, try to go market off of them, try to make money off of them, try to use them for what they have. And so forth. And he's a religious individual. He's a criminal, just like those who are at the Vatican. They just can't stop doing their evil. Oh, yeah, it's been gradually revealed, especially with Pope Leo in office. Yeah. Some of the criminals did not like that so much, where they had to give up things or lose it. It's also a shame to talk about too, but it's there. He's also talking about himself the more so. how he's a YouTuber scamming people, making them think that if they were to send him money, they would be contributing to a good work, or to the kingdom, or unto a good thing, at least from their understanding. Only to find out this guy is wasting money, people's time and energy, and over here being a parasite. That's right, being a parasite to the rest of mankind by just leeching off of them and just simply just hating left and right. He's the one being a hater and desperate and full of such evils. Another thing too is that he wants to play the reverse psychology when he's one of those who are being racist. But he wants no one to come out for it. He wants no one to call him out for it, to address him and go to him about being racist towards melanated people. Clearly, because of road history, the true road history that's being revealed, it's a good chance that Ringo might be Panamanian. As one of his ethnicities. That's what seems convenient for him. Here's another giveaway right here. The title of the 3-hour and 19 minutes and a half video right there. He's talking about himself. He's also talking about Rollo. He is also talking about the sun. As well as the other three as well too. Because, in generally speaking, if Mark the Messenger, that's right, Mark the Messenger, can get a clue of what the Father in heaven gave to his children and those who are serious about the faith, as well as in life and coming to the faith, they are upset and jealous because they didn't get what they have. And so they want to be them so bad, they'll try to do all sorts of criminal stuff, especially employing angry mobs, angry groups, to trouble them. Here's another thing. Donald, as well as Dal, they're sharing some similarities here. Got a couple of them too. To where someone passes away or loses their life, especially if they're melanated. Oh, he's going to make sure people remember them in the bad light. Trying to make people think it's the victim's fault when, one way or another, they may have a head on the ring. In their members-only videos, or what? In part, let's look at it right here. It's mostly hating on the melanated community instead of helping them. As well as hating on Doldash. And on top of it too, he's saying that some of these people were sacrificed or bad things happened to him. But when someone else talks about the same things he does talk about, then all of a sudden, now it's a problem. Now we have to make a whole bunch of videos about it because, XYZ and so forth and such and such. The hypocrisy and the deception is something else. So let me get this straight again here. These criminals, it's almost embarrassing, and almost laughable. They want to be part of white America so bad, they'll throw the Israelites underneath the bus of all different type of hues and skin tones and so forth. And if possible, try to settle up with the actual Africans, the real African Americans that are from Africa. If they want to get a so-called black woman. That's why you Israelites need to identify yourself, especially you Afro-Americans. You might want to look into identifying yourselves as Aboriginal, so that these clowns, these trolls, ninjas, and criminals cannot gain the upper hand on you. Because I tell you right now, they see some, they see some hair like sheep's wool, they're gonna plot and scheme and find out how can they throw that woman or that lady underneath the bus and get up here and present it as if they're being moral, as if they're being good men, as if they're righteous, when the whole time they've been doing evil like the scribes and Pharisees. Wait a minute. Hold up. So let me get this right. Donald's supposed to expose all these so-called wolves and sheep's clothing and everything else. So he'll mention D-Star and Dow to a degree, as well as Rollo in the past about back in April, around April 24th, April 2024 and such. But he won't expose the rest of the wolves in sheep's clothing. It's because either he indirectly or directly has similarities or connections with them to a degree. I know another cult leader called Ayo Ben Ephraim Ben Yisrael, otherwise known as Donald L, shall we say? Oh, don't worry, I got. He puts his name out there. He does. The only thing is, yeah. So Donald, who runs the One Nation One Power cult, he stopped by one of Ringo's videos. So Ringo's not going to expose that criminal either, but he'll let some of them slide. But he's exposing criminals, or he's exposing co-leaders. Let's make it very clear and simple. You're part of those who are part of the different Satanist groups. When your time is running short, your time's coming to conclusion, those members will turn on the one person or people or individual and seek to do as much of a diss against them and run their names to the mud. So one or two things could happen. Either they were doing that to be gaining from shame, in worst case scenario, they are trying to protect the evil that's going on by putting up a front, by playing reverse psychology. By trying to make people think that they're taking care of the situation, when the whole time they've been trying to sweep it underneath the rug and make it convenient to make excuses to why they're not taking care of business and addressing matters how they ought to be addressed. So yeah, if they were exposing all those false prophets, all those wolves in sheep's clothing, he definitely would be exposing one nation, one power. But he won't, because to a degree, they're not really trying to have friction. He's not even trying to expose Big Judah either. And all those other criminals out there too. That's right, one nation, one power cult is run by a criminal. As well as to also Straightway Truth Ministries also ran by a cult leader as well too. And he wants to turn around and try to so-called expose his old buddy, his old friend, his own trainee, when he's guilty of what he does himself. All this stuff here, years of information, and on top of it too, he came up with some kind of money, some way, somehow, to move out of New York, to get out of New York, and